Hey, my name is Sarah Morrison, and I want to share with you something that has tremendously helped me move past my struggles with postpartum depression and anxiety. So, let me give you the quick rundown. After I had my second child, he's about 2.5 right now, I had horrible postpartum depression. And it's hard to describe, it's hard to put into words. Everything was just painful, and there was really nothing that could relieve the pain. I felt paralyzed for sure. And over time, I think for me that morphed into anxiety. It wasn't, I don't know, it's hard to put into words, but things that didn't ever used to stress me out really started to stress me out to the point where it was hard to function. I would feel overwhelmed a lot. So I struggled, and I took medication that upped my serotonin levels in my body for 2 years. And it's what I had to do to get through. So I just want to say, I don't want to make you feel bad about where you might be in your life. And I'm not a doctor recommending to get off medication. I'm just trying to raise awareness and share what worked for me. And I do believe that a lot of people who are taking medication for anxiety could make some adjustments in their life and in their thinking to help them get off that medication. Yes, there are people who need medication for a lifetime, but I don't think the majority of people on medication are that situation. So I want to share what worked for me. So I read this book called Leaders Eat Last. It doesn't sound like a book that would help you with anxiety, right? It's a very good book by an author named Simon Sinek, and it's about leadership and how leadership really comes from making people feel safe and part of something, and releasing four chemicals that our body creates naturally, and how in the world we live in today they're not released as often or in the ways that they used to be. And it was learning about these four chemicals, the four happy chemicals, that totally made something click. And I was like, okay, these are the chemicals that are controlling how I feel. I'm lacking some of them when I'm starting to feel this struggle. How can I fix that? So let me give you the quick rundown. The four happy chemicals that your body naturally produces are endorphins, dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin. These four chemicals all work together to keep you feeling happy and productive and less stressed. So let me share how you get them. Endorphins. You've probably heard that. You get endorphins from exercise. You get endorphins from um, crying, anything that's like a quick release or something like that. Sex, any of that stuff. So endorphins can come from a workout, and they can help fuel your ability to get some of these other happy emotions. So let's talk about dopamine. Dopamine is, I always think of dopamine as like the productivity happiness. Like when I have a bunch of stuff to do and I cross off that big one on the list, oh, it's like a dopamine hit. That's really how I feel. Like it just fuels me up to do more. Or you're in just a good mood because you had a great day at work. You were really productive. You made an impact. That is dopamine. Productivity, getting stuff done. Maybe you're decorating your house, or you're painting, or you do a bunch of yard work. That's some serious dopamine. That feels good. So endorphins and dopamine, you can really get from your own behaviors and self. The other two, serotonin and oxytocin, come from other people. So serotonin is, in the book, they actually call it the leadership chemical. And you get serotonin when you serve someone, when you truly help someone. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm lacking serotonin. And here's the thing, when I start to feel that anxiety and stress, I just want to isolate. I struggle to talk to my husband, to my kids, to my best friend. It's a struggle to communicate. But serotonin is fueled by communication. It's released by communication. So I was like, I got to push myself into something where I can help someone. And man, it works. I remember the day when I finally realized. I was talking to one of my friends who has a similar business that I do, and we were sharing some ideas, and I felt like I really helped her. She was having a problem, and I offered her a completely different insight to what hers was on the situation. And she was like, wow, thank you. Like, being able to serve someone and have that gratitude come back releases like a tidal wave of serotonin. And I instantly felt better about everything going on in my life. I didn't feel as overwhelmed. Serotonin comes from serving other people, helping other people. How do you do that? So many ways. You could go hold doors open for people at a grocery store just because and smile at them. You could give a compliment to a stranger. You could go volunteer. There's so many things you could do. You could just do a nice deed for your mom out of the blue, and really wow her. That's going to release some serotonin. And then oxytocin comes from love. It is the love. I didn't plan that. I just realized that's behind me on the wall. The love chemical. So this comes from like a relationship where it's intimate. There's love. And, it doesn't just have to be like with a spouse. It could be with a best friend. It could be, with my kids, oxytocin, like you just get that love. Like you feel like you are vital to this person's life. And that releases oxytocin. So those are the 4 happy chemicals. Side note on, okay, so just a lesson. Once I started learning this and I knew exactly where they came from, when I started to feel overwhelmed, I could think, what is it that I'm lacking? And I could address it. So for example, like a month ago, my husband has been working on redoing the outside of our house, and he was outside constantly. Like, kudos to him. I'm sure that wasn't fun. I'm sure he was lacking a bunch of happy chemicals, but he didn't express it really. But I was feeling incredibly overwhelmed and just pissy. And I was like, I have no oxytocin right now from him. Like, I have not seen him in days. And I just went out there and I was like, I need some oxytocin. And he just was like, get up here in the lift with me. He was on like a hydraulic lift. And so I just spent some time in the lift with him. I was like, okay, I feel better. Thank you. Went back inside and I felt better. So for me, this has worked. I actually just went and got rid of all of my anxiety medication that I've been keeping just in case, because I've tried to quit so many times and it hasn't worked. I've had to go back on because I couldn't manage it on my own yet. I think medication is important and needed to help you get through sometimes. I had to take it for 2 years, but I always knew I wanted to get to a point where I could handle it on my own. And now I want to share that because I think that a lot of people want the same and just don't know how, because it's not talked about a lot. So I hope this helps. Please reach out. Shoot me a friend request at the link below. I'm on Facebook a lot, and I want to support others who want this. So, P.S., knowing my happy chemicals, but then also being willing to communicate about this, good fitness, good nutrition, personal development have been huge in helping me maintain this. It's not easy. It's not like I just learned this and all of a sudden I am fixed. No, there's still struggles, but being able to rely on those healthy habits helps. So can't wait to meet you and cheer you on.